ready to go in the Honda Indy 200 here at Mid-Ohio, and officials have waved it off. The field just too strung out. You saw Marcus Ericsson there in that bright green machine for Chip Ganassi Racing. He was scrambling to catch up and pack up with Alexander Rossi, and so the race officials say we're going to do that again and we need everybody a little bit closer. Will we see green this time? Pato Award, Scott McLaughlin, 2 Chevys on that front row. Watch Colton Herter in the yellow and black Cambridge car. Let's go! This time round, McLaughlin's going to move across and make that very difficult for Herter.
Colton Herter and Felix Rosenqvist in the black and yellow car, orange and blue car trying to sort out. It's Rosenqvist going to the outside.
Elbows out for Felix Rosenqvist. He's on the inside in turn 5. Scott McLaughlin's going to take the spot 3 wide behind him.
Here comes the hard charger. Colton Herter in the black and yellow car trying to force his way through.
Good stuff on this opening flying lap anyway, as everybody jostles for position through madness. Up here over turn 9 into Thunder Valley. Look at Will Power, and he spins. Desperate move, and it has not paid off.
Keep it running, you're still running.
Importantly, Will Power did not stall the car, and he did not spin another driver out, and that is huge in terms of limiting or avoiding a penalty.
You almost would have rather stalled the car and had the yellow come out, because now he's got to catch up to the back of that field. So that's a tough break for Will Power. He saw a gap on the inside of turn 9 there, tried to make it happen, but that's a tough one to make work, Townsend.
And Diff, you said it, a frustrated move, a desperate move to try to make positions as Alexander Rossi there in the Napa car lunging inside Callum Eilert as we get a replay of Power.
Yeah, there he goes. He went on the inside of Christian Lundgaard and Takuma Sato at turn 9. Starting 21st, he knew he had to be forceful early.
Here's what I don't like about that. He got on the inside of Christian Lundgaard. Christian gave him the spot as we see a transfer for position here. That's Kyle Kirkwood going by David Malukas. But then he tried to get another spot. He kind of got greedy, stabbed the throttle a bit, tried to get on the inside of Takuma Sato and paid the price. So unfortunate move and a rare mistake for this season from Will Power.
Boy, that was some handy driving early on from the likes of McLaughlin, Herter and Rosenqvist. They were getting pretty racy and muscly right from the beginning. Here's a couple of rookies going at it. The white, red and black car is David Malukas putting pressure on the all-black AJ Foyt Chevy, the Sexton Properties car of Kyle Kirkwood.
And one of the important things to remember right now, Kyle Kirkwood started on the primary tires. That's the black sidewall tire, a little harder compound, a little slower. And David Malukas was on that alternate red sidewall tire, a little softer, a little faster. So that's a big move for Kyle to get ahead of David with essentially the slower tire.
There you see the graphic on the left showing you pretty much a 50-50 mix through the field in terms of which compound the drivers elected to start on. You have to run one of each during the race. The question is, which one do you double, the harder tire or the softer red tire? We'll find out after the first round of pit stops.
Part of that plays into how you qualified. If you made it out of Q1, oh, look at Colton Herter looking, Kyle Kirkwood defending.
Fierce battle there between Kirkwood and Malukas, the rookie battle, and you can tell the lime green or neon yellow, if you will, highlights on the camera pods and on the back of the car. That's the rookie designation.
First incident of the race, and unfortunately it has happened to Felix Rosenqvist in the Views Chevy for Arrow McLaren SP. You can see the frustration of the Swedish driver. He'd had a great weekend, qualified on the second row, was running up front Dylan Welsh, and it is all over. We're under a full course caution.
And they just said leave the car on so we can figure out what's going on. I mean, it obviously looks catastrophic, but completely unexpected. They'd said nothing on the radio about this, and then all of a sudden it goes up in a plume of smoke. Tough break for the 7 car.
Boy, I don't think I've ever seen him this hot. He is mad. He's so frustrated.
For good reason. I mean, fantastic qualifying effort from Rosenqvist. His teammate is leading. Clearly they have the pace in the car. Let's listen into a replay and try to figure out a little more about the problem.
Grade two, keep digging.
Watch Colton Herter. He's feeling racy. He's ready to go at this restart. This is where the restart will be, as opposed to the first start. Here we go. Herter is working on McLaughlin into turn 1. Is he close enough? He feels he is and gives it a big shot on McLaughlin. Wow. Doesn't pay off.
He was like a leopard lurking in the weeds there right before they came to the restart. Colton Herter now under challenge from Dixon, and Dixon will make the move.
The Iceman pulls it off. That's such a tough move to pull off for Colton Herter. That curb on the inside of turn 1, Townsend, if you get up on it, it can be catastrophic at those speeds.
Look at Pagano. Look at Pagano in the pink and black car.
This is what you have to consider if you're Colton Herter. If you go big in turn 1, you could get freight trained, and he is. Does Pagano outbreak him? come.
One of the things to remember is you don't get pushed to pass the first lap after a restart, so it's not active on this lap as these guys go side by side through turn 5.
And Colton Herta holds the position. He'll have the advantage at the apex.
Great racing, both men. And the champion, Alex Palou's in the background.
Bit wide there from Simon Pagenaud through turn 9, but I don't think Palou's close enough to capitalize here. Turn 10 here, turn 11 very fast. Not a great passing opportunity as they start to fall in line, but some great action on that opening lap. And we see David Malukas back in front of Kyle Kirkwood, so he's made up a spot there.
And some tremendous patience there from the blue car of Alex Palou. I think that's how he won a championship last year, his first championship with Chip Ganassi. Chaos happening in front between Pagenaud and Colton Herta, and Alex Palou quietly, confidently, and with great patience just deciding to stay out of trouble.
Everybody into a rhythm now. Romain Grosjean continues to try and make up as many positions as he can. There's Palou, there's Malukas, 2 rookies running in the top 10. Great work from them. Here comes Alexander Rossi in the pink and blue machine, the Napa Auto Parts Auto Nation car.
Helio Castroneves getting around the lap car of Jack Harvey down in turn 4. We see Marcus Ericsson running behind him. Probably a good shout for Jack to try to not be too involved here. Maybe move out of the way, but he is only 1 lap down, so technically the command blue flag is not in effect yet until you are a lap down to every car on the lead lap. You have the right to hold your position, so he's doing what he needs to do right now.
Right, so last year's strategy by Joseph Newgarden and Team Penske, where he led 73 of the 80 laps, was a 2-stop, 3-stint. That caution's going to help enormously as far as strategy is concerned. It's kind of going to neutralize it a little bit.
Yeah, it opens up the pit window for sure, and you heard Taylor Kyle on the radio with his driver, Pato O'Ward, speculating what the number 3 car of Scott McLaughlin might do, speculating that they would try to do the overcut, meaning running long on the pit stop and try to get clean track and then put the fuel and the tires they've conserved to good work and try to make the pass on the pit cycle.
Connor Daly has been the biggest mover, making up 5 positions, and he makes up another one on Romain Grosjean in the Bidnall Chevy. Daly on the move.
Oh, there's big problems for Pato O'Ward. The race leader has been screaming. Let's listen on the radio.
Something's going on with the gearbox. Look into it. I'm losing power. I'm losing power. I'm losing power. Yeah, understood. We're looking into it.
Yeah. Eventually they said is maybe just in map 1 and 2, tried map 3, but major concern. He's still talking as he's getting ready to come into pit lane right now, but the race leader is in serious peril right now.
And came in hot, was locking that right front on pit entry. That was a distressed Pato O'Ward communicating with his team. Scott Dixon is in as well.
And here comes Pato O'Ward for a pit stop, but it is anything but a routine pit stop. Not much you can diagnose in this time. It's just hope. They're going to primary Firestones. He's out. Nothing you can do in a pit stop, hoping it just lasts. Scott Dixon also pitted. He's right out there behind him.
There goes Alex Palou as a car is off. It's Kyle Kirkwood in the 14, the Sexton Properties car over in turn 9.
And he's already getting out. I mean, they can come restart you, but it doesn't look like any damage unless there's been a more terminal issue there. Thinking better of getting out of the car, but this is a huge deal. If that yellow flag comes out, cars like Scott McLaughlin that have not made it into the pit lane yet, Colton Herta, Marcus Ericsson, they're going to be in big trouble. Guy that might benefit, though, is Will Power.
Will Power pitted on lap 10. Graham Rahal pitted on lap 10. And they have cycled into the top 5. Do we see a yellow? McLaughlin dives for the pits, so he's made it. Sometimes race control will hold it as long so they kind of don't destroy somebody's race before they close pit lane. We will see. Kevin Lee has more.
And that's the chatter the teams are thinking, that they're going to let everybody, they only get one chance to go by. But if you come in, since it's no serious situation for Kirkwood out on track, so Scott McLaughlin, his race is saved. He gets to come in, and now he is back out, and he'll just weave around Marcus Ericsson. Also comes in front, Dylan.
There comes the full course caution. That was so close with Ericsson McLaughlin.
We're just going to take a look back now, obviously, with Kyle Kirkwood here.
Whoa.
Lost it through 8.
Just had a big wiggle there in 7, and then a pretty vicious hit, it sounded like, in the gravel trap.
You hear us talk about the big four. Well, here they are. Team Penske, Chip Ganassi Racing, Andretti Autosport, and Arrow McLaren SP.
And if you're
1, 2, 3, 4.
If you're Pato Award, you have reason to be concerned. 6-time Mid-Ohio winner Scott Dixon is the next car behind. And if, in fact, you're power limited, you're feeling helpless right now.
So, Scott McLaughlin can set the pace to this field in his Odyssey Batteries Chevrolet. And he's got the defending series champ right behind him, Alex Palou.
A great jump from Alex Palou, a bit wide in the carousel there for McLaughlin. Let's see how they tuck in through one. Can Alex get the run down to turn 2?
McLaughlin has been mirror himself to a degree off Palou as far as being a second-year driver in the NTT IndyCar Series. Won a race in his second series, led the championship in his second year in the series. Lights it up off turn 2 because he knows Palou's all over him.
And Palou has the softer red sidewall tires. It's going to be a drag race down to turn 4. No push to pass. The first lap of a restart. He goes to the outside.
This is going to give him the inside for the next turn, but McLaughlin goes deep.
McLaughlin has learned a thing or two as there's tire smoke in the back, and a caution is out. That is Dalton Kellett off the track.
It was either power base, maybe high center.
And he is high-centered, already stuck. Look.
On the inside of the keyhole at turn 2. So that probably was some side-by-side contact. I think you can see the tire marks, the skid marks right here of where he would have started, spun around, and ended up inside rather than the outside of the racetrack.
See what happened here. This is the view from the Hy-V Honda of Jack Harvey. Look up ahead.
Side-by-side with Simone Di Silvestro, and he just gets into the back of Dalton Kellett.
And is the second retirement of this race, and as you would understand from race control, an avoidable contact penalty for Jack Harvey. He's going to be put to the back of the field. Ready to go again. It was a 2-car flyer the last time around. Add 3 to it because the third car in shot, that yellow and black Gainbridge Honda of Colton Herter, is going with McLaughlin and Palou. Climbing the hill. Here we go.
Just trying to get a sense of Pato Award in that orange and black car, and right there on the restart is, look at that, Newgard to the inside of Dixon, backs out.
Will Power trying to make some moves. Contact there with Romain Grosjean in different colors this weekend in the 28. On board with him now. The Auto Nation on board is Forever Lawns on the side of the car, but the race up front is heating up, guys.
That was Power defending his spot in 12th. Dixon's defending from Newgarden. Pato Award's in the mix. Dixon side by side. VK there having a look on the inside of Newgarden.
It was Dixon defending from Newgarden or attacking Palou. Maybe that engine issue is still prevalent there as the outside of turn 6. Reed is VK. What a move.
You don't see too many there like that. And here's the green machine. Welcome to the scene, Marcus Ericsson, championship points leader.
All the players in the mix, and it seems like Newgarden's thinking points, Dixon's thinking win.
Here is that Ridgeline Lubricants car, the number 8. Typically we see it in white and red and husky chocolates, different commercial partner this weekend. And Ericsson has come from outside the top 10, similarly with Newgarden, and forcing their way forward. Here's Power again on the inside of his old teammate Simon Pagenaud.
Like I said, Will Power is on the charge, fueled by huge frustration from qualifying. He knew he had one of the fastest cars in the field. He's going forward. This guy, Romain Grosjean, also very racy, defending there. A hard charge from David Malukas, the rookie. Watch this move from VK.
Door left open by Newgarden there.
Now he just fires it deep. That's basically 2 cars in one corner on a place we rarely see pass this diff. Goes to the outside.
As we see side by side, Will Power, Alexander Rossi.
He is not hanging about. He's not waiting for anybody. He may have been last on lap 1 of this race. And Power is firing. Rossi's coming back though. Had a look, couldn't quite do it.
I was about to say, if Will Power gets another yellow, he might win this, but he might not need a yellow at the rate that he is carving through the field. Power up to 9th, only 7 seconds off the lead, and rocket ship fast right now.
Tell us more, Dylan Welsh.
It's been interesting just to listen to the communication with he and strategist Ron Rzuski. They obviously knew they were fast, but the biggest thing they wanted to do early was just find some clean air, so they pitted early on lap 10 just to allow him to maximize some lap time, gain some time on the rest of the field through that. Now the cautions have fallen their way, but now as he continues to charge, Ron has reminded him just save some tires for the end because we're kind of on the same strategy now, or closer to the same strategy as everybody else, so I need some tires left at the end of this stint, but they're on the reds. If feel like they're just as good and last just as long as the blacks with their setup, so I don't think they're going to slow down anytime soon.
Is Scott Dixon, Pato Award, Joseph Newgarden in that blue and white PPG Chevy on the inside of the Arrow Chevy.
Sure seems like Pato Award is suffering on that long back straight. But a lot of it's going to come down to tire choice for the final stint. Some drivers won't have a choice, like Alex Palou, who started on reds, went to reds for the second stint. He'll finish on blacks, but for this poor guy, Pato Award, he is just getting destroyed. You can hear the hesitation in the engine at the end of the back straightaway. It's sort of flickering and just doesn't have the power. There's no straight line speed at the end of the stretch there.
And apparently, based on the radio transmissions, it gets worse when on push to pass. So Pato Award unable to use overtake to try and defend. He's essentially just a sitting duck on any of these long straightaways. Such a tough break for everyone on the 5 car.
This is Takuma Sato off, top of the hill at turn 9. He's able to regroup, regather, and get going, so good save. That's exactly where Kyle Kirkwood went off and brought out that 3rd caution of the day.
That's a very difficult part of this racetrack, to save a car from contact into the wall. It's downhill, off camber if you go wide, and those walls come up quick. I wonder if somebody else was involved. There's Takuma Sato on the entry into 8 and then 9. He looks all alone, like he had a moment maybe locked up, and then just dirt tracked it there. Saturday night special to keep it on the track. Nice bit of driving.
Final pit stops underway at Mid-Ohio because it looked like a caution is going to come out, and it is. Tatiana Calderon was slow on track. Joseph Newgarden was one of many first to come in. We also saw Alex Palou just barely get in. I think everybody got in time. Pato Award, the problems continue. He stopped at the end of pit lane. They have been losing power mostly, and now I'm hearing, Lee, that Colton Herta did not get in.
That's correct. Colton Herta is the only one of that top group that did not come. That's his dad, Brian. There he is there on track all alone in the Gainbridge Honda. And this 5th yellow is due to the stopped rocket Chevy of Tatiana Calderon.
James, that is a huge miss.
How did they...
Everybody had an opportunity to get to pit lane, and they decided to stay out, and they will now have to pit under full course caution, go to the very back of the field.
Got to be some interesting radio conversations happening over the 26 radio. Colton Herta hitting the steering wheel in frustration. That is such a... I mean, look at that. Wow. He is just furious, and rightly so. As we see Pato Award retiring the pole-sitting car, a double DNF for the McLaren squad after what was such a promising start.
Colton Herta is at the front of this pack, but he is out on an island. He's the only one of the front runners didn't come in. The second car is a lap down. That's Simona Di Silvestro. And the guy who's led 24 laps of this race is the 3rd car in view. Look at Rinus VeeKay in that orange car, putting pressure on the bright blue NTT data machine of Alex Palou. And here comes Will Power.
VeeKay on used reds trying to defend, but Will Power on sticker reds. Callum Ilott slow there at pit exit. He should be out of the way. But Will Power is on the charge, coming from all the way at the back and going to the front.
This pit entry, we saw the 77 slowing down to is now Rinus VeeKay looks to fight back on Will Power.
VeeKay's going to have more push to pass, gets on the grass, and Power keeps him behind. Tremendous work there.
That is 180 miles an hour, James, onto the brakes while being on the grass. VeeKay keeping it together, but barely.
Barely. And all the cars now in front of Will Power, who again is running in 4th place at this point of the race on the same strategy as everyone else. All the cars in front of him in position have the primary black sidewall tires, and we know Colton Herta still has to pit.
So effectively, Power is in 3rd on this strategy with the best tires and plenty of fuel, and easily the best racecraft of the day.
So one rookie faced some adversity with a crash. That was Kyle Kirkwood. This is Callum Ilott in the Juncos Hollinger Chevrolet. He is done for the day after running in the top 12 for the opening stanza of the race. Good run, but not what they were looking for. It's been a tough day for some Chevrolet powered cars.
Yeah, we saw Calderon go out. There's some smoke coming from Callum Ilott Chevys. Look what's going on with Will Power. Rossi and Grosjean was that. Teammates?
And I don't know if that was Grosjean or not.
Well,
that sounded like Grosjean.
Somebody is not happy.
Full course caution waves from Grosjean. So here's the replay of this first one. This is in the keyhole. You see Grosjean all the way alongside him. He's on the red sidewall tires, leaning on each other. Rossi kind of runs him out of road there, drops the 2 wheels. And then this was the second incident a lap later. Alexander Rossi just wide in the corner. Gets into the side of the 28.
I didn't even see Rossi attempting to turn
well,
on the second half of that corner.
Yeah, he was a full car width wide of the apex there.
Oh. I think it was Grosjean trying the same move.
Yeah.
Rossi sent him a pretty strong signal on the previous lap, like, hey, you'd have to be way ahead of me at the exit for this to work. Rossi with the minimum distance. Oh, it knocked the steering wheel out of Rossi's hands. That's why he couldn't turn.
That wheel-to-wheel contact sent him straight.
The other driver that really didn't want to see this caution was Colton Herta, because he was trying to extend as big of a gap to the end of the field as he could, because he knew he had to pit. Now he's just got to swallow that bullet under caution, and he will go all the way to the back of the line with 19 laps remaining.
Let's go. Scott McLaughlin's in the lead. Alex Palou second. Green with 18 laps to go.
He's going to have his mirrors full of Rinus VeeKay, though. A great start from the young Dutchman, just behind Will Power. Scott Dixon now in line behind him, and Palou drops some wheels off of turn 1.
I'll tell you what, McLaughlin and Palou going to have their hands full. 12 drivers behind, all on the softer red tire, and coming through with a lot of aggression. Malukas making a nice move there, I think, on Castroneves. Teammate Pagano's also just ahead. Actually, Castroneves held him off. Here comes Dixon.
There was a little contact between Joseph Newgarden and Marcus Ericsson, the championship leader. Dixon thinks about it on the other orange car on Rinus VeeKay. Here are the teammates together. Simon Pagano and Helio Castroneves.
Teammates at their home race, no less. And just in front of them, Jack Harvey, who, remember, had radio troubles early. We saw him in the pit, a lap down, now running inside the top 8.
So that's Castroneves with the advantage on Simon Pagano, his teammate. That put Castroneves up to 9th. One of the best road course races, maybe the best we've seen out of Castroneves this season. Meanwhile, up front with Will Power, he's trying to settle into the groove here. But as you pointed out, James, precious seconds left of push to pass relative to McLaughlin and Palou.
And now they've completed the first lap after the restart. The push to pass is available. Of course, the push to pass gives you about 50 extra horsepower, so you can use that in an attack mode, but you can use it in a defense strategy as well. And with 129 seconds for Scott, 106. Oh, here we go. Jack Harvey.
Castroneves to the inside and gets it done. Meanwhile, David Malukas pushing Pagano out of the way.
Look at this scramble with 17 laps to go, and Colton Herta's day goes from bad to worse.
Keeps it running, however. That's up in the keyhole.
Hold on, look out. Everybody's feeling racy. Jack Harvey on the inside of the team that he used to drive for. The Hy-V Honda mixing it up.
Hit me.
Christian Lundgaard around the outside of Pagano. Pagano not leaving him much room in turn 6. There are multiple bits of contact.
Pagano's getting chewed up right now. Lundgaard with damage to the left front end fence of that front wing. That's not going to help his balance.
That was a bit elbows out, a bit cheeky there from Pagano. Not giving Lundgaard a lot of room, but after just losing a couple spots in that scrap there down in turn 4-5, definitely on the defense mode.
I always find it amazing that the drivers have the ability to have their thumb on the radio and complaining when they're in the moment of the battle. Look at this.
Whoa.
Rossi and Grosjean going at it.
Man, he's driving to me again.
Well, no love lost there. You're supposed to be in line on a restart there.
This is what happened to Colton Herta in the Gainbridge Honda turn 1 up the inside of Jimmy Johnson. Exits, climbs the hill, drops a wheel. It's going to happen here at the top of the hill.
There's Grosjean, is it? Coming down the inside by Jimmy Johnson, and then he tags Colton Herta. A lot of Andretti on Andretti crimes happening today.
Wow.
There's going to be an interesting team chat at the end of this race.
And remember last year, it was a Team Penske car with Joseph Newgarden leading a Chip Ganassi car with Marcus Ericsson, and it was the Ganassi car that was stronger at the finish. Can Palou have the same performance here? He looks really strong right now with the run coming to 4.
And who was it who chased Scott McLaughlin to his first win in St. Pete? Alex Palou. He had a mirrors full of Palou in the NTT Data Honda
no pressure
in St. Pete and managed to handle that pressure all the way to the checkered flag.
a radio message to Palou saying no pressures, Will Power 1.4 seconds behind, so he can be eyes forward, pure attack mode right now, just trying to get that number 3 Penske in his sights and pull off a move.
Palou's got about 20 seconds less of push to pass than McLaughlin.
And I wonder if it's those little doses of push to pass that are causing an issue for Will Power. I expected him to challenge at this point in the stint a little more aggressively. As you see the Firestone telemetry on board with Palou. Entering turn 1, look at the speed, 150 miles an hour into that 90-degree left-hander that takes you uphill. There you see push to pass, and in fact, McLaughlin and Palou have used quite a bit in that restart, trying to take any attack away, I think, from Will Power. Will Power, meantime, hasn't touched the button yet.
I was just going to say the same thing. They're bringing themselves back into the territory that Will Power is right now with push to pass.
So two guys who aren't exactly dinner buddies, Alexander Rossi and Romain Grosjean, have been penalized for avoidable contact. This is Alexander Rossi and Devlin DiFrancesco. Now, maybe that's what that's for. Maybe that's nothing to do with the other Grosjean incident.
Well, because Grosjean's a lap down and DiFrancesco wasn't. So that comment about, you know,
there's mutiny at Andretti today, I'll tell you that much. It is every man for himself. Absolutely no space given teammate to teammate, and Rossi has been in the middle of a lot of it for sure, if not all of it. Guys, meanwhile, look at this. 45 seconds still left for Will Power. He hasn't even touched it yet. You have to think he's just kind of lurking there on those red tires. Does he unleash the beast here in a few laps? There's a little bit of a wiggle there as he comes to the front stretch. I don't know if he has the grip left.
I think those tires might be used.
Yeah, just based on the gap, it's going to be tough at this point. Certainly part of the strategy had to be forcing Palou and McLaughlin to spend some of their push to pass, but I'm just not sure he's close enough to capitalize, and closing that gap right now might be more of a challenge.
For sure, and I think if he could, he would, because Team Penske would love to have Power up there challenging Palou and giving Scott McLaughlin some breathing room at the finish.
The white flag has come out for Scott McLaughlin.
Use up all the overtake here.
Use all of the overtake. He is less than 2.5 miles away from joining an illustrious list of Emerson Fittipaldi, Alonso Jr., Elio Castro Neves, Ryan Briscoe, Simon Pagenaud, Joseph Newgarden, and his other teammate Will Power as drivers to win at Mid-Ohio for the captain. Isn't that interesting? Both of his wins, if he gets there today, he will be shadowed home by Alex Palou, the guy who he marks himself against as a second-year driver in IndyCar. He said, I've looked at all of the stats. I watched what Palou did last year in his second year. I need to be the same.
And you know what Palou did better than anyone last year is just finish races, take what is on offer, don't force it, don't push the issue, high percentage decisions. And with Palou as he runs right now, 4th in the championship, just 35 points back of his teammate Marcus Ericsson. It sure feels like Palou's going to be a factor when we get to Laguna Seca at the end of this championship.
How about this? Scott McLaughlin, back-to-back wins for the captain in successive years here, but it's a first for McLaughlin at Mid-Ohio. With mum and dad on site to witness their son's victory here in Ohio. Yeah, celebrations tonight.
That's my boy. Nice drive there, dude. Just like St. Pete, same guy. He did the same thing. You crushed it. Proud of you, bud. Thank you, guys. So proud of you all. Thanks for this.
He's just so good in that situation, guys. Running up front, controlling the pace of the race, taking care of the equipment, taking care of the tires.
And Scott McLaughlin now is a 2-time winner in the NTT IndyCar Series, and mom and dad are here today. How special is that?
Yeah, amazing. I really wanted to get a win here with mum and dad, and our first time with Odyssey battery on the car, and you know it was awesome as well to have them on board, but to have mum and dad here was super special. And America's weekend, like, I mean, last night I was dressed up as a blow-up eagle, so maybe I need to do that every July 4th weekend.
Yeah, you love America. Now you're a winner on 4th of July weekend, so it's one thing to get to the front. How challenging it was to stay up there with some hungry drivers right behind you?
It was tough, you know, and you're thinking about fuel, but thankfully, obviously, Chevy gave us the great fuel mileage and drivability off the restarts that allowed me to get a little bit of a gap from Palou and the Honda there. So I'm really proud of the guys, the car they gave me. It was a little hard to drive towards the end. I would have loved to make it a little bit easier for myself, but yeah, super proud of everyone. Great pit stops from the car 3 team. 33s, baby, we're going to the moon.
Congratulations. Scott McLaughlin wins again in IndyCar.
Watch the Honda Indy Toronto, Sunday, July 17th at 3 p.m. on Peacock Premium.